Nilanjana, we've seen picture. We've seen some pictures coming in. All right, I believe there's a piece of breaking news that is coming in, and we'll quickly go across to that because leaders already reacting. Even those who don't get up in the morning are up this morning. We have Akhilesh Yadav. Hey, Karan is smiling and laughing because I said Akhilesh Yadav.
Leaders who don't generally get up. So Akhilesh is known to get up around 11.
Chalo.
So that's when his day begins.
Today we'll leave the personal jibes. Akhilesh Yadav has tweeted ahead of the counting. He hopes that the Election Commission will be impartial. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what Akhilesh Yadav is saying even before the first ballot box has been opened. Actually, what will happen is that postal ballots open first. There has been ladai jhagda over that as well. We'll talk about that also. Now, this is what Akhilesh Yadav is saying. He's saying it is hoped that the Election Commission will carry forward its glorious tradition of impartiality and will continue to maintain its respect in the minds of the public by eliminating the possibility of any kind of rigging. Today's Panch Parmeshwar is the same. Long live democracy. I wonder what prompted that. Karan, would you want to hazard a guess?
He started doing this since last night. I mean, he started saying, "Kafan bandh ke nikalne ka din aa gaya hai." I mean, this is really sick in the sense that we've had one of the best elections conducted. 64 crore people vote. Election Commission does a stellar job, and we already have people casting aspersions on this decorated institution. It's not fair for 1.5 crore personnel who've toiled in this heat to make sure that, you know, democracy is vibrant. And democracy is vibrant. We don't need a certificate from Akhilesh Yadav to come up with that. So I think it's already a case of sour grapes. That's what I see.
We are hearing from OP Rajbhar as well, the SBSP chief. Let's quickly listen into him.
जनता ने मोदी जी को प्रधानमंत्री चुनने के लिए ईवीएम मशीन में इतना वोट भर दिया है कि गिनती होने दीजिए, तो देखिएगा दूध का दूध पानी का पानी हो जाएगा। जो एग्जिट पोल आया है उससे भी बेहतर प्रदर्शन एनडीए गठबंधन। विपक्ष के लोग चाहे जो कुछ भी करें।
Is it a case of sour grapes? The opposition has been raising one point or the other through this election, putting the Election Commission in the dock. Yesterday, the Election Commission did a press conference to say, we can see this is an agenda being run. This is an orchestrated agenda being run. How do you explain the way the opposition has gone about berating the Election Commission? Do they actually believe that this election has been rigged? I mean, election ka to result, election shuru hone se pehle hi sabko pata tha, right, Nilanjana? In April, almost everyone knew that Mr. Modi is the next Prime Minister of this country again.
I don't know. I wouldn't actually go by this belief that the election results were known even before anything was announced. There is a certain process, you know, we have to maintain the decorum of that. We can't take anything for granted. There's a lot of difference between how many seats that, even if you think that Mr. Modi will continue as Prime Minister, there's a lot of difference between the fact that if the BJP gets 303 plus or 303 minus. Listen. So, you know, that magnitude of the victory of the BJP, for a moment accepting that what you are saying is that the result was known. I, as an analyst, say that nothing is known till the last ball is bowled.
It's not over till it's over.
No, not till the last ball is bowled. That is the way I look at it. You know, I find very strong analogies between politics and cricket. So that's the way I look at it. This election has gone down to the wire. It's a different thing that at the end of it, it might turn out that there has been a wave in favor of one of the parties, but then none of us actually saw this entire wave. The Election Commission, right from the beginning, there have been various questions which have been raised right from the fact that just before the elections were due to be announced, one election commissioner dramatically resigned. Let's not forget certain things. Big question marks were raised, no answers have been provided. What led to the fact that an election commissioner resigned? Why was the vacancy of another election commissioner not filled by the government much before they actually had to do it? So you had this fairly questionable fact that two election commissioners got appointed, and on the same day, within hours, the schedule got announced. So it looks very peculiar that you appoint two election commissioners out of three, and then within a few hours you actually announce the schedule. Even through the entire period, we've had brilliant election commissioners. I'm sorry to say, that election commissioners in the last few years have been a pale shadow of the TN Sessions and Mr. J.M. Lingdos of the world.
Why will the BJP need to rig this election? I'm just playing the devil's
No,
advocate
I'm
here.
not saying the rigging.
Bhai Karan is here.
I'm not using the word rigging.
I am. So Niranjan, hear me out. My limited point is this. Ultimately, by the end of it, 303 ho, 400 par ho, jitna bhi ho. Ultimately, what is the figure you need to form the government? 272? हाँ सुनिए हाँ ठीक है हाँ 272 चाहिए तो उतना ही ना उसके ऊपर is all bonus it's all psychological victory उसके ऊपर. Look at where the BJP is starting from. BJP is starting from a place where the last time they won 224 seats of all the 303 they won 224 seats. Their vote share was above 50%.
Exactly. Yes.
I think if you put these two numbers together, it tells you the story of where this election is going to go.
I think we then need to revisit the 1984 election, which we keep on talking about. Let us also look at...
That was a different election.
No.
That was an election that was propelled by a sympathy wave.
Also by national security. That was the first election where the bogey of national security was raised by the Congress party. The Congress party used a very divisive campaign saying that the borders will arrive at your doorstep if you do not vote for the Congress. I am no admirer of the Congress politics. For the major part of my 4-decade plus in journalism, I have possibly written against the Congress party because they were the ones who were in government. It's only the last 10 years and the 6 years previously when Mr. Vajpayee was the Prime Minister that you had the BJP as a ruling party. For the other years that we have been in journalism, it was the Congress party, and our job is essentially to show light on the government. That is what is the job of the media. What news is, we learned. What somebody, somewhere wants to put it down, does not want to make it public. That is our job, and that is what we have been truthful to.
Okay,
to find out what is not being said. That is it. And no animosity against anybody. We may have our ideological positions. That is different. But our job is to find out what is not going right, what is not being done correctly. And I do not believe that every government does absolutely cleanly. I do not believe that.
Even elections?
Not elections. I am talking about there are shortcomings in the way in which the Election Commission conducts the elections. In this process also we have done it. But I do not want to get into a very detailed post-mortem of what the Election Commission has done.
Sure.
Today is not the day for that.
Today is not the day. It's 7:24.
Yes.
So we are approximately 36 minutes away from the first postal ballot being opened. Meanwhile, I do believe that there is some more breaking news that is coming in. And this is coming to us from Maharashtra, ladies and gentlemen. We can, I think, go across to that. The Uddhav Sena, via its mouthpiece, the Samna, has taken a dig at Prime Minister Modi and the BJP. It says in its editorial this morning, they are preparing in Delhi for a third term based on favorable exit polls. Decks have been cleared. However, democracy is going to win this time. Ganga Shuddhi will happen. Dramatics and treachery will lose. That is coming in. That is coming in to us from Maharashtra. Well, I think all the reactions we have seen so far this morning are on expected lines. There's a certain degree of confidence, and then there is a certain degree of raising doubts, at least as far as the opposition is concerned. Let me go straight across to my colleague Abhishek, who is joining us from Pune. Abhishek has been actually covering the Porsche accident/murder case in the city that has rocked Maharashtra's politics in the last 2 weeks. Today he's smiling because he's not on that assignment. Today his primary job is to look at Pune, where there is a direct contest between the BJP and the Congress party. Also his job to look at the very interesting constituency of Baramati, where there are two Pawars in the fray. But before I get to all of that, anything else that Samna is saying? They are taking a dig at Prime Minister Modi and the BJP saying कि अभी लड्डू बनवाने आपने शुरू जो कर दिए हैं अभिषेक. Essentially, it's too early. You should have waited.
Definitely, we have to understand the point that entire India Alliance partners, in fact, they had a meeting also. They are not ready to believe the exit poll. In fact, they termed that the exit poll is been made from the BJP's office. In fact, a meeting of the All India Alliance partner in Delhi, after that, they claimed, in fact, Mallikarjun Kharge said that we are winning 295 seats and are forming the government, and this will be proven today, is what they said at that given point of time. And similar sentiments are being echoed in the editorial written in Samna today, that let BJP daydream, or let them prepare for what they want to and be happy with the exit poll. But the real exact poll, what they want to say, that the people will change the course today, and definitely the democracy will win. And most important to note, when we talk about the state of Maharashtra, where we have seen how there was a split in regional parties engineered by the BJP, and first the Shiv Sena and then NCP, and then we saw how there was a formation of Mahavikas Aghadi. Mahavikas Aghadi is at the state level that was replicated at the national level as India Alliance. These are the differences, because that's what keeps Maharashtra state different from others, where we have one side BJP versus Congress, or some alliance partner versus other. But here we have similar regional parties fighting against each other. NCP versus NCP, Sena versus Sena. And that's how the politics of Maharashtra has changed the dynamics. If you understand, in 2019, and now we are in 2024, the results will be out today. So that's where the dynamics have changed. And definitely,
All right.
I am standing at the counting center where 2 Lok Sabha constituency voting will be decided. So Baramati is where Pawar versus Pawar is, and definitely both are, at this given point of time, they feel that they are confident of victory. But definitely, as the day passes by, we'll come to know whether Supriya Sule or Sunitra Pawar wins the race.
Okay.
Back to you.
Okay, we'll leave it. Thank you very much. We'll leave it there. Before I slip into a quick break, current 20 seconds on the Samna editorial. Ganga Shuddhi hone wali hai, they say. The BJP is celebrating too early and Karan is smiling too early.
No, I think Uddhav Thackeray is a man on a redemption path in this election. I agree that he will regain some of his lost pride, but taking a dig at the Prime Minister, who's all set for a third term, I think that's immature. He should have taken a dig at Eknath Shinde. I think that's where he can score today. I truly believe that. But the Prime Minister, he has no alternative. You just pointed out the baseline thing. Last time around, in a direct-to-direct between BJP and Congress, they won 171 out of the 186 seats, and 155 of them by more than a 10% margin. So it's very, very difficult to dislodge them from that position. So the baseline effect is going to be in play, and it's not anyone's surprise. It's not just that the exit polls are telling us that. Any sensible person who has been analyzing the election knows we cannot see such a mass transfer of votes from the BJP to the other side. There's no resentment of that magnitude.
Okay, so we'll quickly take a break, and coming up next, we are patching up with someone who won this election even before the elections had started. That's the Surat MP, you remember him, Mukesh Dalal. There was a very interesting story that played out. He's joining us on the broadcast next. Do stay with us.